Dear students, welcome to biology class. Today let us discuss chapter 3 with the help of easy notes. Chapter 3, Simple Nutrients into Cells. Remember what we studied in second chapter, that is about digestion. After digestion, simple nutrients are formed. These simple nutrients are absorbed inside the villi of small intestine. From the villi, simple nutrients are carried by blood capillaries and lacteal. This chapter explains how blood capillaries and lacteal transport these simple nutrients into the cell. For that, we should understand what is blood and what are the components of blood. There is an experiment to understand the components of blood. Take blood in a test tube, add EDTA, ethylene diamine tetraacetic acid. It is an anticoagulant. It will prevent the coagulation or clotting of the blood. Wait for some time. We can observe blood cell and plasma. Blood has 45% blood cells and 55% plasma. Blood has blood cells and plasma. Which are the blood cells? They are RBC, WBC and platelets. RBC helps in transport of oxygen and nutrients. WBCs are soldiers of our body. They will fight with the germs. Platelets help in blood clotting. You have studied all these in your 6th standard, isn't it? And next one, plasma. Plasma is a pale yellow colored fluid. What is the color of plasma? Yellow color. And glucose, amino acid, fatty acid, glycerol, etc. reach the cell through plasma. Plasma helps to transport glucose, amino acid, fatty acid, glycerol. Plasma has water, protein and other factors. 90 to 92% water, 7 to 8% protein and other factors. Which are the protein? They are albumin, globulin, fibrinogen. Albumin regulates blood pressure and globulin helps in defense. Fibrinogen plays a major role in coagulation of the blood. Other factors are fat, salt, urea, sugar and hormones. So these are the components of the blood. From the villi, blood carries all the simple nutrients into the heart. Position of the heart. The heart is situated slightly tilted towards the left in between the two lungs behind the sternum in the thoracic cavity. So where is the location of our heart? It is located in between the two lungs behind the sternum. Sternum means chest bone in the thoracic cavity. And our heart is slightly tilted towards the left side. The size of human heart is equal to the size of one's fist. And next one, protection of the heart. How our heart is protected? Pericardium, double-layered membrane cover the heart. There is a membrane called pericardium covering our heart. Pericardial fluid seen in between pericardium helps to reduce friction between the membrane when the heart beats. So there is a fluid inside pericardium. That fluid is helping to reduce the friction when the heart beats. So pericardium and pericardial fluid protect our heart. Now, structure of the heart. This is the section of our heart. And our heart has 4 chambers. The name of these 4 chambers are, first one, right atrium, right ventricle, left atrium, left ventricle. And the veins present in our heart are superior vena cava, inferior vena cava, pulmonary vein. It has left branch and right branch. So these are the veins present in our heart, and arteries present in our heart are pulmonary artery. This is the left branch and this is the right branch. Another artery present in our heart is aorta. This is aorta. And there are valves present in our heart. On right side, tricuspid valve in between right atrium and right ventricle. On left side, bicuspid valve in between left atrium and left ventricle. And on pulmonary artery, pulmonary valve. And on aorta, we can see the valve, aortic valve. So these are the different structures we can see in our heart. This is the right side of our heart. It always contains impure or carbon dioxide rich blood. This is the left side. It always contains pure or oxygen rich blood. Superior vena cava and inferior vena cava carry impure blood to right atrium. At the same time, on the left side, pulmonary vein carry pure blood from the lungs to the left atrium. And next, from the right atrium, blood move to right ventricle. Here, left atrium to left ventricle. Then, from the right ventricle, blood is carried by pulmonary artery to the lungs. Okay. And on this side, blood moves to aorta. This is aorta. And from here, pulmonary artery, blood moves to the lungs. And from the aorta, blood moves to different parts of the body. This is the movement of blood through our heart. That is chambers of the heart. Which are the chambers of the heart? Right atrium, right ventricle, left atrium, left ventricle. Right atrium and right ventricle collect impure blood. Impure means carbon dioxide rich blood. And left atrium and left ventricle collect pure blood. Pure means oxygen rich blood. The blood vessels which carry blood to the heart and the chambers where they end. The blood vessels which carry blood to the heart are called veins, and to which chamber they are carrying the blood. So which are the veins of our heart? Superior and inferior vena cava and pulmonary vein. Superior and inferior vena cava carry blood to right atrium. They are carrying blood to the right atrium, and pulmonary vein carry pure blood to the left atrium. Okay, you have to imagine the figure of heart. The blood vessels which carry blood from the heart are called arteries, and the chambers from where they begin. So the blood vessels which carry blood from the heart to outside are called arteries. Pulmonary artery and aorta. Pulmonary artery carry blood to the lungs, and they begin from which chamber? They begin from right ventricle. And aorta, they carry blood to the body parts, and they begin from left ventricle. Aorta is beginning from left ventricle. Valves of the heart. First one, tricuspid valve, seen between right atrium and right ventricle. And what is its function? Prevent the backward flow of blood. Bicuspid valve, seen between left atrium and left ventricle. Prevent the backward flow of blood. Pulmonary valve, seen on pulmonary artery. It is also preventing the backward flow of blood. Aortic valve, seen on aorta, prevent the backward flow of blood. So we know that heart has arteries, veins, etc. Then how these arteries and veins are arranged in our body? That is, larger arteries arising from the heart split into small arteries, and these in turn split into capillaries. These capillaries then unite to form small vein, and these small vein unite to form larger vein, and finally reaches the heart. That is like this. Arteries arising from the heart, they split into smaller arteries and then split into capillary. Capillary join and form smaller veins, and these smaller veins join and form larger veins, and these larger veins return to heart. So we know that there are three types of blood vessels in our body. They are artery, capillary and vein. Various kinds of blood vessels. Based on the indicators, let us analyze arteries, veins and capillaries. First indicator, peculiarity of the wall. Arteries are having thick and elastic wall. Veins have thin wall, and in capillaries the wall is formed of single layer of cell. And walls, arteries actually do not have walls, but in heart we can see walls for arteries. And in the case of veins, the walls are seen inside, and in capillaries walls are absent. And peculiarity of blood flow. Through arteries, blood move with high speed and high pressure. In veins, blood move with low speed and low pressure. In capillaries also, blood move with low speed and low pressure. Direction of blood flow. Artery carry blood from the heart to outside. Okay. Veins are carrying blood to the heart. Veins carry blood to the heart, and capillaries carry blood from arteries to the veins. They are carrying blood from artery to vein. Example for arteries, pulmonary artery and aorta. Example for veins, superior vena cava, inferior vena cava and pulmonary veins. Working of the heart. Sinoatrial node or SA node. It controls the initiation of the contraction and relaxation of the heart. It regulates the rate of heartbeat. It functions like an electric cell. So it is known as the pacemaker of the heart. We know that our heart is beating continuously. During heartbeat, what happens? Contraction and relaxation of the heart. This is controlled by SA node. Where is the location of SA node? It is located on right atrium. Okay, it is located on right atrium and it is known as pacemaker of the heart. Next topic, double circulation. When blood flows from the heart to different parts of the body and vice versa, it passes twice through the chambers of the heart. This type of circulation is called double circulation. That is, blood is moving twice through the chambers of our heart. How many times? 2 times. That is why the type of circulation is called double circulation. It includes systemic circulation and pulmonary circulation. Systemic circulation starts from left ventricle and ends in right atrium. That is, it is starting from which chamber? Left ventricle and end in which chamber? Right atrium. And that is called the systemic circulation. You have to imagine the figure, okay? Pulmonary circulation, it starts from right ventricle and end in left atrium. It is starting from the right ventricle and then ends in left atrium. So let us observe this flow chart. Systemic circulation starting from where? Left ventricle, then moves through aorta, then to different parts of the body. From the body, vena cava is collecting the blood again and moving to right atrium. This is called systemic circulation. Okay. And what is pulmonary circulation? From right ventricle, pulmonary artery carried to the lungs. From there, pulmonary vein carried to the left atrium. This is called pulmonary circulation. Together it forms the double circulation. Where does blood go when the arteria contract? When atrium is contracting, blood moves to which chamber? When the arteria contract, blood goes to ventricle. From the atrium, blood is moving to which chamber? Ventricles, isn't it? Does the blood flow back to arteria when the ventricle contract? Why? When ventricle is contracting, whether the blood is going back to the atrium? No, right? We can see tricuspid valve and bicuspid valve. This valve will prevent the backward flow of the blood. When the ventricle contract, which blood vessel does the blood flow to? When the ventricle is contracting, on right side, blood flow to which artery? Pulmonary artery, and on left side, blood flow to aorta. What causes an increase in the level of carbon dioxide in the blood present in vena cava and the level of oxygen in the blood present in pulmonary vein? Because vena cava is collecting the blood from the cell after cellular respiration. So it contains more carbon dioxide. Pulmonary vein is collecting the blood from the lungs after gas exchange. So it contains more oxygen. And next is portal circulation. It is the system of blood circulation in which portal veins are included. Example, hepatic portal system. So this type of circulation include portal veins. Remember the name of vein? Portal vein. And what are these portal veins? They do not reach the heart. They carry blood from organ to organ. They begin from one organ as capillaries and end in another organ as capillaries. So these are the veins that do not reach the heart. They are carrying blood from one organ to another organ. Then what is the role of portal circulation, or what is hepatic portal system? It is from the villi of small intestine, the blood along with nutrients is moving to the heart with the help of portal circulation. That is, hepatic portal system helps to carry blood from the villi into the heart. Capillaries in the intestine, then blood moves to hepatic portal vein. capillaries in the liver and then reaches the liver, hepatic vein and vena cava will collect it and finally reaches the heart. So this is how the simple nutrients from the small intestine reach the heart. Heart then pump it to different parts of the body. Then what is the role of liver here? You have seen that the nutrients are moving to liver. The simple nutrients reach the liver because liver has following functions. Storage of glucose in the form of glycogen, release energy from fatty acid, produce cholesterol. So these are the functions of liver. That is why simple nutrients reach the liver. From the villi, blood reached heart through portal circulation. Heart will pump the blood. Many processes help the heart to pump the blood. That is systole, diastole, heartbeat, etc. Systole and diastole. Systole, the contraction of chambers of the heart is called systole. During systole, blood flow from the arteria to the ventricle and from the ventricle to outside. That is, blood is moving from atrium to the ventricle and then from ventricle to outside. And that process is called systole. And then what is diastole? The relaxation of chambers of the heart is called diastole. During diastole, the chambers of the heart get filled with blood. So during diastole of the heart, the chambers of the heart is getting filled with blood. Observe the figure. During systole, the blood moves from atrium to ventricle and then from ventricle to outside. During diastole, the chambers of the heart is getting filled with blood. Next, heartbeat. One systole and one diastole together forms a heartbeat. A heartbeat means what? One systole plus one diastole. It takes about 0.8 seconds. The heart beats at an average of 72 times per minute. Next is pulse. The wave-like movement formed due to the contraction and relaxation of the heart is called a pulse. It is felt throughout the walls of arteries. Rate of pulse is equal to the rate of heartbeat. That means when you are keeping your fingers on the wrist, you can feel the pulse, isn't it? That is the wave-like movement formed during contraction and relaxation of heart chambers. In which all other places we are able to feel the pulse? Both sides of the forehead, on the wrist and both sides of the neck. Normal blood pressure of human beings is 120/80 mmHg. That is 120 is the systolic pressure and 80 is the diastolic pressure. And how we are able to check the blood pressure? By using sphygmomanometer and digital BP apparatus. If there is any variation in blood pressure, it leads to hypertension and hypotension. Hypertension means the condition in which the blood pressure increases above the normal rate. So that means if the blood pressure is above 120/80, it leads to hypertension. And reasons are unhealthy habits like use of salt and fat, smoking, lack of exercise. All these leads to hypertension. The condition in which the blood pressure decreases below the normal rate is called hypotension. So that means if the blood pressure is below 120/80, it is called hypotension. And if it is hypertension or hypotension, it leads to stroke or heart attack. And one dangerous heart disease is atherosclerosis. What is the reason for atherosclerosis? Due to the excess use of fatty food, fat accumulate in artery wall, so the inner diameter of artery reduces. So that means if you are using excess fatty food, all this fat will be accumulating on the artery wall. So the diameter of the artery reduces. As a result, artery wall loses its elasticity and it may rupture, it will break. Hence, RBCs clump together and this will result in blood clot and finally heart attack. Then what is the remedy? How can we avoid this disease? By avoiding fatty food items and also by doing regular exercise to burn out the extra fat in our body. Heart pump the blood which contain nutrients to different parts of the body. The nutrients then reaches the cell with the help of tissue fluid. Next topic, tissue fluid. Method of formation of tissue fluid. When blood flows through capillaries, the fluid part of the blood oozes into intercellular spaces through minute pores of the capillary wall. This fluid formed in the intercellular space is called tissue fluid. What are the properties of tissue fluid? It doesn't contain RBC, large protein molecules and platelets. It is the tissue fluid that helps in exchange of materials between the cell and blood. Exchange of materials between cell and tissue fluid to the cell. Which all molecules are moving to the cell? Glucose and oxygen. And from the cell, which all molecules are moving from the cell to the blood through tissue fluid? Waste and carbon dioxide. Method of maintaining the level of tissue fluid in intercellular space. That means how is the level of tissue fluid is maintained? Tissue fluid is absorbed into the blood and lymph capillaries. We have studied that from the villi of small intestine, fatty acid and glycerol is carried by lacteal or lymph. Let us see the flow chart. Fatty acid and glycerol collected by lacteal. Lacteal contain lymph. Then it moves through small lymph duct, then through large lymph duct, and finally it is collected by vena cava and pass it to the heart. Heart then pump it to different parts of the body. Then it reaches the cell. That is, we have lymphatic system also. Like blood circulatory system, we have lymphatic system also. It includes lymph, the tissue fluid which we can see in lymph capillaries, and lymph capillaries, lymph duct, lymph node and spleen. Lymph node and spleen help to fight with the germs. Next topic, transportation in plants. In plants, xylem tissue and phloem tissue helps in the transport of substances. First one, xylem tissue transport water and salt from the root to the leaves. So xylem helps to transport water and salt. Phloem tissue transport food from the leaves to different plant parts. Phloem helps to transport food. Xylem tissue contains tracheids and vessels. So transportation takes place through tracheids and vessel. These two are the dead cells. And in the case of phloem tissue, transportation takes place through sieve tube. Companion cells are seen along sieve tubes. Companion cells are also present. And in xylem tissue, tracheids and vessels are present. Phloem tissue has sieve tube and companion cells. Xylem tissue vessels are arranged one above the other, look like long pipes. Xylem vessels are arranged one above the other. Phloem tissue sieve tubes are arranged one above the other. Pores are seen in crow's wall. It also look like a long pipe. And there are many processes that helps in the transportation of water. They are transpiration and pressure difference created because of transpiration, osmosis, transpiration pull, cohesion, adhesion and root pressure. Transpiration is the loss of water through leaves through evaporation. As a result of transpiration, pressure in the cells of leaves reduces. To compensate this pressure difference, water enters these cells from adjacent cell through osmosis. So water is carried to these cells which have lost water because of transpiration. And this creates transpiration pull. This transpiration pull helps to carry the water to the top. And also cohesion, water molecules are sticking to themselves, and adhesion, water molecules stick to the walls of the vessel. These two properties help the water to move from root to the leaves. And root pressure, that is formed in the cells of the root, also helps in rising the water. So these are the processes that helps the water to reach the different parts of the plant from the root. Experiment to observe transpiration. Take two potted plants, one with leaves and the other without leaves. Cover them using transparent polythene bag. And after some time we have to observe. We can see water droplets on the bag that cover the plant with leaves. This is because of the process of transpiration. Thank you for listening, and please watch the video classes with Malayalam explanation. I will provide the link in description box. Thank you.